Good morning, degenerates, and welcome to another episode of Boring Crypto IO, a place where I read you the boring crypto news every morning, Monday through Friday, just so you don't have to. My name is Not Important, and I'm your host. Let's get into a lot of news. ETF. That's mostly what we're going to be talking about today, guys. In case you missed it, yesterday, U.S. lawmakers call on SEC chair to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs immediately. And then I shit you not, if not less than an hour later, the SEC decides to push back the dates on ETFs. Told Congress to go take a flying F and said, no, guess what? We are going to push these dates back. SEC pushed the deadline for ARK 21 shares spot Bitcoin ETF to January. Binance fully exits Russia with a sale to CommEX. And last but not least, guys, former White House official will lead Ripple's policy and government arm. Yeah, the main focus today is about this ETF stuff. How absolutely asinine and retarded. Excuse me. I guess I'm not supposed to say that word anymore. I have no idea. How absolutely asinine and just completely negligent the SEC is when you have literally Congress telling you, dude, what are we doing here? Get these approved. There's no reason to not have these approved. And the SEC goes, yeah, we're not going to do that. Right. Anyway, on to the market, guys. Right now, let me refresh this. Current market cap sitting at $1.06 trillion. Current Bitcoin dominance 49.0%, ticking up. ETH dominance 18.4. ETH has been going down. ETH is not looking healthy right now. 10 Gwei will get you an ETH transaction, and we're still hovering in the 30s. 38 on the Fear and Greed Index. Kind of sideways still. Things are starting to flip to slightly the green side. We'll see if it holds. Let's blow through the top 100 real quick. See if there are any major outliers. We have got Bitcoin Cash with 8% to the upside on the day. So weird. Is anyone even working on that chain anymore? Is there any like devs or any kind of use case? Like what? Or is it just something being traded because it's a ghost token and people like to trade it? Maker Dow 8.46 on the day, 11 on the week. Mutable X down 4.7% on the day. $4.52% for XEC. $10.25%. Terra Classic is flying off the handle, which is absolutely insane. 10% on the day, 15.96 on the week. And that is about it. 1 inch creeping back into the top 100, 3% for the day. Sitting at the 99 spot. All right. Bitcoin, 4 hour. We just got a pump out of nowhere, guys. Sorry I didn't get to do a video. I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter if I tell you guys. I just sound like a whiny little girl, but I threw my neck and my back out yesterday morning. So moving around and doing a video wasn't a thing. I'm still in a lot of pain, but we're kind of going to try and get through it today. Last thing I want to do is keep you guys out of the loop for more than, well, those few people that watch, keep you out of the loop for more than a day at least. All right, here's what we're watching. We're getting a little bit of a movement, right? Right. I was trying to gather my thoughts for a second. First of all, it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, nor should you listen to me. I'm an idiot. I'm some random dude in a room looking at lines on a chart. I have no idea what I'm doing. Fair. That's fair, right? There, I said it. Okay. Last time I left you guys, we broke all the way down from what looks like the bottom lower trend line of the original descending wedge from months ago. Bounced. I keep doing that. Beat our heads, guys, on 27,310, excuse me. Broke down, got back under this thing, turned it back into resistance, broke down again, got under 26,315, turned that into resistance again. But now it looks like we're breaking back through everything. Which is expected. I told you guys, like, these levels are not bad ideas to make longs. If you open a long right here, depending on your leverage, but I'm sure it's not going to be huge, but 2.71%, you know, you can, if you're playing leverage, you can make a decent gain off of that. What I would be looking for, what I'm looking at right now is clearly we're looking at like possibly this candle, this area here, looking at resistance. If we do start moving above this, I would look for either a rejection off this trend line, this downward trend line. If we do just, because this is still kind of just an idea, guys. I don't know if this is even real. We're just keeps kind of respecting it. If we do blow through that, look for a rejection off to 27,310. If we get above that, flip that into support. Please, fingers crossed, right? The levels I'm looking at, 27,594, we'll just call it 27.6, and then 28. 28's a big one. I've told you guys from day one, since we started doing this nonsense, if we do not get above, I have it marked as 27.91. If we don't get above 28, we'll just call it, I would not expect any bullish momentum. So we need a movement. We'll just call it 5%, 4.71. We'll just call it 5 from where we're at right now, currently. Outside of that, if we do break to the downside and we lose 25,816, the levels I'm looking at, 25.6, 25 even, 24.2 is no man's land. Okay? Nothing new, guys. We've been looking at these levels for quite some time. Excuse me. Whew. I'm in a lot of pain, guys, so it might feel like I'm rushing. My words are getting even more jumbled than they usually are. I apologize. But we're going to try and get through it. Yeah, but right now, guys, keep your eye on the pump. Let's look at it on, let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, so this just started happening. Now it's back to the 4. Here's where we're at on the 4. Yep, a big green candle. Just keep your guys' eye on it. It decided to let loose. I was looking at Satoshi Stacker this morning. He was saying that we potentially had like kind of like an ascending triangle. Something kind of like this. And using that as the top, if I were to move my line up here. If that's the case, he called it. We had a breakout. Good job on Satoshi Stacker, guys. Go ahead and follow him. Believe it or not, a lot of the way I trade when just looking at support resistance levels was a lot that I learned from him. And he doesn't really have like a ton of tutorials. But if you just watch the guy how he trades, it's very simple, man. And I'll tell you what, that dude's levels are always on point. I mean, it's almost unreal where he'll call a rejection level or a support level. So, Satoshi Stacker, go ahead and follow him. And his videos are super short. You know, you're not spending a lot of time looking at charts, things like that. Okay, on the news, guys. U.S. lawmakers call on SEC chair to approve spot Bitcoin ETFs immediately. The members of House Financial Services Committee are expected to question Gary Gensler during September 27th hearing on the SEC oversight, which is today. Rip this dude a new one. Let's see how this goes. 4 members of the United States Congress are requesting Securities and Exchange Commission Chair Gary Gensler immediately approve the listing of spot Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. In a September 26th letter to Gensler, U.S. Representatives Mike Flood, Willie Nickel, Tom Emmer, and Richie Torres claimed the SEC was discriminating against spot Bitcoin exchange-traded products, citing the legal precedent set by Gary Gensler, or excuse me, set by Grayscale. Told you it's gonna be rough, guys. Pain is not fun to work through. Set by Grayscale Investments in winning a review of its own ETF offering. 4 lawmakers told Gensler that there was no reason to continue or deny spot crypto ETF applications following the Grayscale court decision, which ruled the SEC's reasoning was arbitrary and capricious. In having already approved investment vehicles tied to Bitcoin's futures. A regulated spot Bitcoin ETP would provide increased protection for investors by making access to Bitcoin safer and more transparent, said the letter. Congress has a duty to ensure the SEC approves investment products that meet the requirements set out by Congress. The lawmakers added, "We urge you to approve the listing of spot Bitcoin ETPs immediately." Bipartisan letter, so and so and so and so. To the SEC chairmen on not approving a Bitcoin spot ETF, there is no reason to continue to deny such applications under inconsistent and discriminatory standards. We all agree. I don't know if there's anyone in the space that disagrees with this. The request came ahead of Gensler's scheduled appearance before the House Financial Services Committee on Oversight of the SEC. All 4 lawmakers are members of the committee and could address the matter in the September 27th hearing. The proceedings will likely not be affected by the looming threat of a government shutdown, with lawmakers unable to reach an agreement on spending as of the time of publication. To date, the SEC has not approved a listing of any spot Bitcoin ETF. Many had expected the commission to reconsider pending ETF applications following SEC loss to Grayscale in a court in August. However, the regulator subsequently delayed decisions on ETFs from 7 major firms: BlackRock, WisdomTree, Invesco, Galaxy, Valkyrie, Bitwise, VanEck, and Fidelity. This should be an interesting meeting today. I'm sure they're going to grill his ass. Hopefully it's entertaining, and hopefully it's actually beneficial and not just theatrical theater. I'm a moron. Hopefully it's not just theater. So we'll see what happens, man. Moving on. Literally within an hour, right? So when was this post? 14 hours ago. It doesn't have an actual... Of course it doesn't. I'm seeing if it has an actual time. But literally within an hour after this news broke that they were beating up the SEC goes, no, sorry. SEC pushed the deadline for ARK21 shares spot Bitcoin ETFs to January. The commission gave itself an additional 60 days to consider the listing of ARK21 shares investment vehicle on the CBOE BZX exchange, with a final deadline set for January 10th. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission is taking the maximum time allowed for the regulator to reach a decision on a spot Bitcoin ETF offering from ARK21 shares. In September 26th notice, the SEC said it would designate a longer period on whether to approve or disapprove a proposed rule change that would allow ARK21 shares spot Bitcoin ETF on the CBOE BZX exchange. That is a lot of acronyms and names. I'm sorry, guys. The commission's previous delay on August 11th gave the regulator until November 11th to decide whether to approve, disapprove, or again defer a decision. The commission finds that it is appropriate to designate a longer period within which to issue an order approving or disapproving the proposed rule change, so that it has sufficient time to consider the proposed rule change and the issues raised therein, said the SEC. The delay came the same day the SEC deferred a decision on the Bitcoin ETF offerings from fund manager GlobalX. It's unclear why the commission chose to designate longer periods to determine the fate of the spot Bitcoin ETF applications weeks ahead of their next deadlines in October and November. The regulator has usually waited until a few days before any deadline to file delay. With the additional 60 days to consider ARK21 shares offering, the SEC's final deadline for ARK21 shares will begin January 10th, 240 days after the initial application was filed. The next deadline for GlobalX's ETF will fall on November 21st. The filing followed a letter from a group of U.S. representatives calling for SEC Chair Gary Gensler to immediately approve a spot Bitcoin ETF. The lawmakers claimed the SEC was practicing inconsistent discriminatory standards. We all agree in approving ETFs linked to the crypto futures, but not spot investment vehicles. The date the SEC has not approved any spot Bitcoin ETFs for listing on U.S.-based exchange. Many industry experts have speculated the commission would reconsider pending ETF applications following the SEC loss to Grayscale in court in August. At time of publication, the next deadlines for spot crypto ETF applications from 7 major firms: BlackRock, WisdomTree, Invesco, Galaxy, Valkyrie, Bitwise, VanEck, I hate to have to read this every time, and Fidelity are scheduled for October. The SEC can delay or extend these deadlines until March of next year. Let's go, dude. Screw these guys. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a fan of BlackRock and them, but it's time. You know, look, the space. Let's say it this way: the space needs it. Liquidity is down. Sentiment is down. Engagement is down. Either it's going to be a long, cold winter, and I don't expect us to like tank or anything. It's going to be boring and slow, or these are going to get approved and we're going to get some kind of momentum, right? And I'm not saying that people that think that this is going to, that Bitcoin's going to fly to 80K as soon as these things get approved are out of their minds. It's not going to happen like that. But will it spark some momentum? Absolutely, without a doubt. I don't know why it wouldn't. All right, moving on. Binance fully exits Russia with sale to CommEX. The financial details of the deal remain undisclosed. However, as a full exit from Russia, Binance will have no ongoing revenue split, nor any option to buy back shares, the companies said. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance has announced its full exit from Russia by selling its firm to a newly launched crypto exchange business known as CommEX. Binance has entered into an agreement to sell the entirety of its Russia business to CommEX, the firm said in an announcement to Cointelegraph on September 27th. The exchange didn't disclose the financial details of the deal. To ensure a smooth process for exiting Russian users, the offboarding process will take up to 1 year, the announcement reads. All assets of existing Russian users are safe and securely protected, Binance noted. As we look forward to the future, we recognize that operating in Russia is not compatible with Binance's compliance strategy. Binance Chief Compliance Officer Noah Perlman said, adding, we remain confident in the long-term growth of the Web3 industry around the world and will focus our energy on 100 plus other countries in which we operate. Binance will ensure to provide its customers with an orderly process for the migration of users. In cooperation with CommEX, Binance will inform users of how to migrate their assets to the newly created exchange. The user migration process will allow a portion of Russian users with completed Know Your Customer checks to be immediately redirected to CommEX. Binance will gradually sunset its platform in Russia over the next several months. Every effort will be made to maintain a smooth user experience during the transition, Binance stated in the announcement. I don't think we really need to read any more of this, guys. Yep, they're leaving Russia. I think this might have to do, this is a conspiracy theory guy, right? I'm not that guy, but you get my point. I think this has to do with some of the pushback they've been getting since the U.S. sanctions on Russia. Maybe other countries leaned on them pretty hard, so they had to pull out, which is so dumb. So Russian government decides to do something shitty to the world, so you punish the people. Got it. That's my opinion. Get mad at me. All right, last but not least, former White House official will lead Ripple's policy and government arm. More bullish news for Ripple, I think. We'll see. Ripple's newest head of U.S. public policy previously worked in similar roles at SoftBank Group, Zoom, and Lyft following 6 years in government. Lauren Believe, a former official with the White House's Office and Legislative Affairs and Policy Director with the United States House Committee on Rules, has joined crypto firm Ripple in its head of U.S. public policy and government. A lot of those titles are always super hard to read. In a September 26th announcement on LinkedIn, Believe said she had accepted the policy position at Ripple to lead engagement in Washington, D.C. and across the United States. She previously worked in similar roles at SoftBank Group, Zoom, and Lyft following her experience in government. With the regulatory landscape evolving, it's paramount that we advocate for policies that not only support the crypto industry, but also the countless individuals and businesses that could benefit from the advancements, said Believe. Believe. I am thrilled to share that I have taken on a new challenge as the head of U.S. public policy and government at Ripple. In a time where technology meets finance, Ripple stands at the forefront, revolutionizing the cross-border payment sector. As we navigate this transformative journey, engagement is pivotal. My role will be to lead our engagement in Washington and nationally, ensuring that we are not only part of the conversation, but driving it forward with clarity and purpose. With regulatory landscapes evolving, it's paramount that we advocate for policies that not only support the crypto industry, but also the countless individuals and businesses that could benefit from these advancements. Lastly, I'm incredibly grateful, not to mention incredibly excited, to work alongside Robert Grant and the brilliant Ripple team. The addition of wow, guys, I'm sorry. The addition of Believe to Ripple came amid the firm's lawsuit with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission over XRP. Though the case is ongoing, a judge, we all know this, we know that they won. Members of major U.S.-based crypto firms seemed to be stepping up advocacy efforts among lawmakers attempting to address regulatory clarity in the space. Coinbase's Stand with Crypto campaigns encouraged users to vote for crypto-friendly candidates and at the state and federal levels. Time of publication. Wow, guys, I'm sorry. At the time of publication, U.S. lawmakers were at odds on spending bills aimed at avoiding government shutdown September 30th. It's not going to happen. Guys, don't worry about this stuff. It's all a charade. Several U.S. crypto bills awaiting a floor vote in House Representatives could be delayed if members of Congress are unable to come to an agreement within the week. It'll be fine. All right. Sorry for everything I always do when I mess up these guys. I'm so sorry. The pain ain't helping it either. Bitcoin one last time. Ooh, we keep going up. We broke out past that little resistance right there. Next level is going to be this guy right here. Hopefully flip this support into, hopefully get above this support. Hopefully it doesn't flip into resistance. That's what I was trying to say. And then these two lines are what we're looking for. Hopefully a breakout, get above that 27.8 or 27.6, and then eventually get above 28. Fingers crossed. Onward and upward. Let's go. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you this morning. If you do enjoy the content I provide for you here every morning on Boring Crypto IO, if you do enjoy my slurring of words and you get to make fun of me and start your morning off on a high note because I'm dumb, please, by all means, subscribe to the channel. Turn on the bell for notifications so you know when I do post videos. Please watch the videos and share them on all your social channels. And above all, if there's anything you can do to help expand adoption in the crypto space and grow my channel, our channel, the channel hits here for you, please, by all means, like the videos. It's the #1 thing you can do and the easiest thing you can do to help all of that. And I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. I am out of here.